first planted this plum tree, it just looked like a stick stuck in the ground, and that's how it's looked for the past few months. We were actually a little bit sceptical if it was even still alive, but in the last couple of weeks it's actually just started to get these little leaves and now blossom appearing on it. So spring is on the way.
I'm going to say like that angle-ish. I can't believe how fast time has flown here. We've just been measuring up to finish off the fencing up around the main house, and we were just kind of thinking back to, when was it that we actually started this job, or did the bulk of it anyway? And it was like 6 months ago now when I put these gates and fencing in. It's crazy. At the time, we couldn't finish the job because in this area to the left of the driveway gate, we were hitting a load of granite, because as you can see behind me, there's a big kind of mound hill, I don't know what you'd call it, that's all built of granite. And at the time didn't have the tools to get into the granite. To put the gate post in, I used an SDS Plus drill, but it took a lifetime. It broke the drill bit, and I decided there and then it wasn't something I wanted to do again. But now we've got the secret weapon to finish the job.
Before anything else, we actually need to clear this area because it's become our dumping ground.
Cracking technique.
If there's one thing we are good at, it's growing weeds.
Whew. Well, that was a bit more effort than we thought it was going to be, but that's now the fence line cleared and ready to start digging the holes.
Time to get the big guns.
I'll be honest, this is one of those jobs that's been in the back of our mind for months now, and we've wanted to get it done, but in the same breath we've just prioritized more fun jobs and more exciting jobs. However, when Vevor got in touch and they kindly offered to gift us this jackhammer, we saw it as a sign that now was the time to get it done. So firstly, we need to set this bad boy up. It's pretty heavy, but you know, it's a big heavy duty tool. One thing I'm very happy about is that it comes in this very, very tough hard case, wheels on the bottom, a nice handle. It's really easy to transport. Also, it comes with these nice white material gloves to, I'm guessing, to stop your hands getting dirty when you're putting it together. I don't think you need them when you're operating it, but I feel like I'm about to, you know, pull the lottery balls or handle the crown jewels or something like that. Did you do that one, or did you point this one, do you think?
So we've learned two things so far. Ricky was correct. These are to keep your hands clean while putting it together, because my hands are covered in oil now. Second thing, we need hydraulic oil.
Obviously, we hadn't opened this up before we turned the camera on, and the second you get inside it, you realise it needs oil to work. We haven't got any of this particular type of oil, so I'm going to have to nip out and get some.
Oh, well done. Ooh. That's it, I think.
Right, so that's the oil in, topped up for the first use. It's actually the next day from when we filmed last, because I actually had to go on a little bit of a wild goose chase to get this oil because we couldn't get it anywhere locally. None of the local hardware shops did it. Yeah, I ended up having to go into the city, and whilst I was there, I got the van MOT'd, so that's good for another year, which is a result. But yeah, we had to get this particular type of hydraulic oil. The number is a number 46, so if anybody else out there ends up getting this, make sure you get that before your first use, because otherwise it can cause a bit of a delay. So Victoria's just using the post digger just to see how far we can actually get down in the hole before we hit some really hard granite. She's hitting some soft granite at the moment, but that post digger still keeps on going. So we're going to try and get as deep as we can before we pull out the big boy. Okay, so now the Victoria's dug down as far as we can. We've now hit hard granite. I've actually bent the tip of the the post digger, but it's okay, it's still usable. So now it's time to get the jackhammer and start putting it to use. So if you're wondering, the jackhammer we've got, it's a 2,600 watt jackhammer, so it's fairly powerful. Comes with 3 different attachments, 2 of which are chisels. So it comes with this flat chisel and also this point chisel. This is going to be the one that we're going to use because we just want to break up as much as possible. Now it also comes with this. Now can any of you guess what it is? Because I'm feeling a bit stupid in my inexperience. When we first opened it up, we didn't realize it came with this. We were wondering, what is this? It came in a separate box. And after a little bit of thought and looking at it, I thought, oh, maybe this is a stand because this attaches to the hex on the shank. And we thought, oh, maybe you stand it up on it when it's done because this bottom bit is really heavy. We thought this was a weight. Actually, it turns out this is for tamping. It's a tamping plate. So you fix this in, and then if you need to flatten down an area, you know, you've put some hardcore down or something like that and you want to flatten it down, this will then boom, 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 pound it. And you know, this is, that is heavy. Get some serious guns using this for a workout, so that's also going to come in handy.
Safety first.
Thank you.
Oh, I hate putting these things in, but they're essential.
Here goes nothing. Do you want to go? How was that?
I've got mixed emotions. It works so quickly, but I am sort of feeling like I've got like an adrenaline rush, or like I've just come off a big roller coaster because I am trembling. It's sort of like a massive cake mixer just that wants to like throw you around at the same time. But having said that, it's not that bad and it's not hurting my back to use it, so that's good.
Well, I think we're going to be digging and jackhammering for the, I was going to say for the next couple of hours, but I think realistically it's going to be,
the
yeah. Before we carry on, just wanted to let you know that the kind people at Vevor have offered all of our subscribers 5% off to use across their EU site, but also their American site. And that's not just for jackhammers, although we can definitely recommend this one. Head down to the description where I will leave the discount code as well as links to the jackhammers and the rest of their sites. And just to note, Vevor have not paid us for, you know, a positive product review. They just got in touch, wanted to send us a product, said give an honest review, whether it's good or bad. We've never used a jackhammer before, but we are very happy with this one and it's been a real lifesaver, and we have already got about 5 other projects lined up on the farm where we can use it. My lips really red.
Look at me. No.
Since we've been outside all day, I literally feel so sore. So 4 holes dug, ready to be filled in.
Yeah, I'm so pleased that that job is done, and I think it's a big weight off of our minds.
Yeah, agreed. It's a good bit of teamwork today.
It was.
Mwah. there we have it. That's our 4 posts in the right position, level, ready for action. This afternoon, I'm going to concrete in all of them. Initially, I was just thinking I would concrete in the 2 end posts because they're the ones that are going to be taking most of the tension. But the more I've thought about it with these central posts, I think it's wise to concrete them in as well because it's surrounded by granite, so there's not going to be anywhere for water to drain off. So I think if I concrete these, that will allow the water to run off at the surface level and we won't have anything go down and get trapped around the posts. Bit of peace and quiet at last. That's the posts in, and to be honest, I know it's only 4 posts put in concrete, but it feels really good to have got this done because we've just been putting this off for so long. It's been one of these things that's just been niggling away in the back of the mind for ages, and yeah, now it's done. So I'm going to give it 3, maybe 4 days to let this concrete go off, and then next week we'll get the fencing attached, and then we also need to build a little gate just to give us access round to the back of the house. But yeah, I'm a bit tired, absolutely covered in cement, but ending the day on a positive, so feeling very good.
So we've just come down to the tiny house and we're just checking over the roof. It's a bit of a ritual that we've got because we're a bit nervous that the whole thing might just... Oh no.
Oh. Sorry.
We're a bit nervous that the whole thing could just actually collapse. But while we're actually down here, we thought we'd take the time just to address a couple of questions that have been popping up in the comments. And it's concerning the house and our plans for it and our renovation plans more specifically. So first question, are we still renovating the property? Yes, absolutely. And secondly, when are we actually going to start the big meaty jobs, like replacing the roof that's threatening to cave in? That one requires a little bit of a longer explanation. So Ricky, do you want to take the baton?
Okay. So those of you who are regular viewers of the channel, you'll know that about 2 or 3 months ago was when we actually first came and started doing any work on this little stone cottage. And the plan at that point really was to just go full throttle and kind of week in, week out, keep working on it pretty much until it's done. The first big job that we needed to do was to remove this existing roof because the roof tiles are coming off, the timbers on it are really, and they're in a really bad way in certain places. If you saw kind of the first few videos that were ever made on this channel, you'll know that we have 2 buildings on this property. We have this small stone cottage and we have the bigger main house up at the top. Now the plan was to do this smaller building first using the same materials, the same techniques as we want to do on the main house, purely because we're new to all of this and things aren't quite as overwhelming to get going in the first place because the job's not as big. Also, if we do make any mistakes, it won't be quite as costly and replacing materials and things won't be as big big of
Quite
an
as
expense as they
painful.
will be if we mess it up on the big house. So with that big house, we have a huge single pitch sloping roof. We want to have really long roof rafters that span the whole house front to back without any purlins. If you don't know what purlins are, because I had to explain to Victoria, purlins are basically supports that kind of, if you've got a rafter going this way, a purlin is what goes across it the opposite way to give more support to that. And with lots of kind of normal structural timber, you have purlins because they can only be spanned so far for a certain amount of weight. So we were looking at glulam, which is kind of laminated pine where it's stacked on top of each other. That increases the strength and then you can have much bigger spans. Because we were going to do that on the main house, we then thought, oh, we'll do it here as well. We found a local supplier of the glulam, we priced it up, we got all the sizing, we put the order in. Then with that order, there was a number of different delays, and during those delays, Portugal just had such bad flooding and just awful rain. We've got a neighbour who, they are renovating a stone building as well, and they'd had their roof removed about maybe 2 or 3 weeks prior to this awful weather. And then during that time of the rain, we just used to look over and just see this building with no roof on, getting rained on so heavily every day, water going in all the walls. And we kind of looked over and realised if that delivery of the glulam had come on time, that would have been us. We had plans of removing the roof, and we thought it's prudent to wait until the wood arrives. And we're so glad we did, because the roof stayed on, and during that time, yes, this roof leaks, but a little bit of water leaking into the building is nothing compared to torrential downpours going into the wall. It kind of gave us a bit of time to mull over things, and we kind of realised, do we actually need glulam? The thing we need is wood, and the thing we need to learn is the techniques, you know, how you do the cuts and things like that. The actual type of wood itself is, to a degree, irrelevant. So we kind of then thought, well, do we need the glulam for here? We don't need the huge spans in this roof. It's much smaller. We can just use a normal C24 strength rated timber, and that would actually be considerably cheaper than the glulam. So after kind of considering all of that, we actually spoke to the supplier. They still hadn't had the glulam, so we kind of said, well, can we cancel it? Yes, it was agreed. And then during that point, we thought, do you want to know what? We're seeing this as a blessing in disguise, and we are now going to wait and start the roof in probably mid to late spring, when basically you can guarantee in Portugal that there's not really going to be much more rain, certainly not heavy rain, and you can wake up every day and the sun's shining.
And also by that point, the actual length of the days are going to be so much better. We're already starting to feel like when we go for the evening dog walk, we can actually see the dogs.
Yeah,
it's nice.
Yeah, it's nice now. The days are getting that bit longer, which is really good. So again, the further we push that into it, days can be longer, because you know, replacing a roof is kind of one of those things, and once you get going, we just want to keep going. We want the roof, the building to be uncovered for as little time as possible. So yeah, that's the plan. And like we say, if you've been watching our videos, you'll know that we are still doing what we consider as renovations for this building. We're doing lots of things that contribute to this renovation, whether it be getting access down here with a track, whether it be making a point where we can have cars turn around and get deliveries, or at least bring things down in our van. So yeah, don't worry, the renovation on this building is still happening. We still want to see the transformation on this building through and just turn it into something amazing, and you know,
want to live in it.
Yeah, we really want to live in it. And this is one thing that we decided when we were kind of questioning, why does the roof have to be done now rather than wait until later in the spring? And we kind of realised the only reason we really wanted to push forward with it was just for our own sakes, just so we had this space finished and ready to live in sooner rather than later. But sometimes waiting is a good thing. And you know, we realised this is a marathon, it's not a sprint. So we've exercised a bit of patience.
Reluctantly.
Yeah, but spring is just around the corner, so you know, it's not going to be too much longer until it gets started.
But don't worry, we've got plenty of jobs keeping us busy in the meantime.
Yeah, the list is literally never ending.
So at long last, I'm actually going to start planting out some little seeds. We've got a mixture going on, so I've got some salad leaves, some tomatoes, radish, beetroot, what else? I'm trying to think. I can't do it. Right, now Ricky's had his fun, I can take my jumper off because according to our little thermometer, it's like 33 degrees in here. So we've got one purpose-built seedling tray, and I've actually just been collecting some of our packaging from yogurt pots, tea bag boxes and milk cartons, just to see what will work well. So I've got my seeds and we're going to plant a mixture of salad leaves, tomatoes, radishes and beetroot today. So I just need to put some holes in these for drainage so that they don't get waterlogged. It's easy to spot who's British in the supermarket based on if they're buying breakfast tea. So we have got shop bought compost today, but I do fully intend to make it ourselves, but at the moment none of ours is actually ready to use, so shop bought it is. If the way that I'm filling up this tray doesn't prove that I'm a total amateur, I don't know what will. It's going everywhere. Luckily Ricky had the foresight to actually put some cardboard underneath the bench, otherwise we would just be growing stuff in the gravel. So yeah, I need to have a think about that and maybe make some sort of tray or catching system. Before actually ploughing on with putting the seeds into the compost, I'm actually going to make some little signs for them because I'm 100% going to forget what they are because I have a horrible memory. So beetroot, I don't know if any of you have seen these seeds before, but they're so unusual. Firstly, they're really big and they're so knobbly. Time to get some seeds in. I've put multiple seeds within each of these pots because once they go to seedlings, I hope it's correct, but my intention is to divide them when we can then plant them outdoors. So although I've only got 6 pots of the beetroot and the radishes, I'm hoping that there'll probably be about 4 little seedlings per pot. I actually haven't got any coriander seeds yet, but I fully intend to plant a whole batch of it because although Ricky thinks I'm the devil for including it in any meals, I absolutely love it. Time to get watering. For anybody that's concerned, that includes Ricky, about my choice of seedling pot, I know that the cardboard's going to disintegrate, but I just wanted to try and utilise some of the cardboard packaging that we already had, and they are only going to stay in them for hopefully 7 to 10 days until they start to sprout and then they can be planted outside.
I'm just watching Victoria water these seedlings, and all that's running through my head is we need to get this bench sealed as soon as possible. Our lovely clean bench is now dirty, soily and wet, as it should be. That's the purpose for it, but still we need to protect that wood.
The sun's just come back out and it is getting a lot hotter in here, but before we leave we need to have a wager, Ricky.
On what?
What's going to sprout first out of these?
Sprouting. Okay, so I think sprouting, it will be the lettuce.
Okay.
But I want it to be the beetroot because that's what I want to eat the most.
Right, okay, well I'm taking the radish.
Okay, how much are we betting?
I'm feeling pretty confident, so I'm going to wager 50 cents.
50 cents, I'll raise you to €1.
Oh!
Yeah?
Shake on it.
Okay.
That was too forceful.
Come on. I don't want to squatting here.
Oh no.